Study the nature and type of soil occurring in and around the study site. See what will happen if it is clay, if it is a thick plastic clay, literally there won't be any percolation. So we will be studying the soil also. Then you have to make drills, boreholes, and then allow the water to percolate into that sand or weathered bottom. Apart from field work, the remote sensing study also helps when you carry out a feasibility study for a large factory running into acres or hectares. It will be very difficult to narrow down the favorable zones of rainwater recharge. So we will take the help of Google Earth Maps in this case. See, we will be able to identify the potential zones of rainwater recharge, presence of water bodies, and geomorphological features that will help the person in the field to narrow down the target areas of recharge. We will also be studying the historical Google Maps to find out the back information of the site. After narrowing down the potential areas, conventional water divining with copper wire is done to find out the groundwater flow lines that are the favorable zones for artificial recharge through rainwater. Once the groundwater flow lines are identified, we will be carrying out resistivity survey, that is electrical resistivity survey, where we pass a current into the earth of known voltage and then identify the resistance of the underlying formation. With this, we will be able to find out what type of formation is occurring underneath, whether it is a sand or a rock or a solid rock with no water, whether we have touched the water table. All these features can be inferred. It is not a direct information. All these things will be inferred with the resistivity survey. Then after collecting the available data, then studying the topography, studying the geomorphological features, hydrogeological study, then water divining and electrical resistivity survey. So all this primary and secondary data will be analyzed then for designing the rainwater harvesting structures. So while designing a rainwater harvesting for a factory, we will be first asking the main objective of the plant, whether what for they are doing rainwater harvesting. Normally it will be for three cases. One is they want to reuse the water, or as part of corporate social responsibility they want to recharge the water so that the community is benefited, or they want to satisfy the government requirements. So these are the main criteria. So after identifying their objective, we will plan the rainwater harvesting system accordingly. So we'll be in any case we'll be doing rainwater roof water harvesting structures and surface water harvesting structures for any plant, whether it is of smaller dimension or of larger dimension. Roof water harvesting basically is the roof water that is falling onto the surface. Normally in factories you would have seen factory sheds of huge dimensions running into 20,000, 50,000, 1 lakh square meters, etc. So such huge roof water, enormous quantity of roof water can be diverted to a storage tank after passing through a filter system through a network of chambers and pipeline. So one standing example we can say in Saint Gobain, Chennai, that is the plant which is in Sriperumbudur, where they have diverted roof water to the tune of 1,50,000 meter cube square meter area to a tank of storage capacity 4 to 5 lakh meter cube. See, every year by storing the roof water, they are able to save to the tune of 50 lakhs per year. Year after year, let's say that this project was implemented in 2004. Still now, it is successfully working, where they are able to save 50 lakhs per year on their. So this is a huge saving on their water budget. So this is roof water harvesting. And then of late, the government norms also say you have to implement a roof water harvesting system in your plant. So the roof water can be collected and reused for beneficial purposes. Then it can be used for recharging your bore wells or open wells also. So a portion of the roof water can be diverted to bore wells or open wells, so that the quantity also will be improved, quality also will be improved. So coming to the surface water harvesting, see basically the rainwater that is falling onto the surface follows the gradient and then flows out of the premise through stormwater drains or some kacha nallas. So this water can be effectively collected in a storage cum percolation pond, or it can be diverted to the recharge structures. So the storage cum percolation pond is nothing but a pond that can store the water and also allow the stored water to percolate into the ground so that it reaches the groundwater also. How this storage cum percolation pond can be identified? So it is based on the earlier scientific studies which I mentioned, like this hydrogeological study, remote sensing study, water divining and electrical resistivity study, and analysis of the rainfall data. See, I was mentioning about the peak intensity. See, the peak intensity, for example, for Chennai, it is 22 mm per hour. So, based on that, we will calculate for the area how much rainfall runoff will be available for per day, and 5 days capacity will take into account, and accordingly will design the storage cum percolation pond. Once we construct the storage cum percolation pond, we have to identify the catchment area, that is the upstream area from where the water comes towards the pond area. See, there may be catchment area, but water won't come to the pond because the stormwater drainage will not be proper, or there will be choking of the feeder canals. So all these feeder canals are the non-contaminated areas we have to select for diversion of water. So from which the water, runoff water, will be diverted to the pond through cost-effective diversion structures. Then we may have to make silt traps. See, whenever it rains, the rainfall will carry the silt also along with the runoff, which may gradually settle into the pond and reduce the storage capacity, and it will also retard the percolation. So, we will be providing silt traps along the path of the drain. And subsequently, once a pond is constructed, then we will be providing silt traps, then we will be making beautification arrangement around the pond. See, when you make a pond, a simple structure will be there which will be of use to the management, but when you beautify the pond, it will attract lot of visitors. Like in Saint Gobain, for example, apart from the main storage pond, they have made a beautiful landscaping around the pond with pathways, walking sitting arrangements, statues, etc. So daily executives, they have 1 or 2 meetings there. So like that, if you, it will be an attraction for visitors as well as the executives of the factory also. So in an industry, apart from your collection tank for reuse, the storage cum percolation pond can be used for increasing the recharge to groundwater also. Apart from pond, we will be suggesting lot of recharge structures depending upon the site conditions, like percolation pits, percolation trenches, duct cum borewells, contour bunds and trenches. These are different structures. The nomenclature is based on the type of recharge structure for the type of formations, and divert the water through cost-effective diversion system. Major successful surface water harvesting structures include the storage cum percolation ponds in Tata Motors Jamshedpur, Tata Motors Dharwad, and Tata Steel mines in Navamundi, Joda, Kanban, where the management draws stored water to the tune of 2000 to 3000 KL per day for their daily application. Apart from withdrawal of this huge quantity of water, a major portion of the water is allowed to percolate into the ground for recharge. So, apart from this, is the success story which I mentioned for the storage cum percolation pond. There are some standing example of successful recharge systems that sustain the yield from borewells include Coca-Cola Chennai, United Breweries. United Breweries is nothing but Kingfisher factories in Chennai, Bangalore, Palakkad, a lot of areas, Tyagaraja Mills, ITC Chennai, etc. So these are the basic studies we make apart from the data collection, field investigations, then design of the structures, then we will prepare a master plan. So master plan will have the output, the scientific, based on the scientific studies, whatever outputs we got, that will be in the form of a report with the design engineering, will be given for the construction of storage cum percolation pond as well as the site specific recharge structures. A bill of quantity will also be prepared for the management to plan on the execution of the project also. So once all these things are given to the management, depending on the budget, the management can take a prudent decision on implementing the rainwater harvesting projects, not only to protect their own water environment, but also the water starving communities as well. See, by doing so, not only industries, now these days, lot of industries, it was made mandatory from government also. Apart from that, as part of their CSR program, that is Corporate Social Responsibility Program, many industries are coming forward to do rainwater harvesting, not only to meet their own requirements, but also to serve the community as well.